what we're going to do today is we're going to start a project or a model, right? We're going to create a design, a model of a house. So we're going to work with models up here. You're going to go to new on the top one, and click on new, excuse me. Okay, on the top one where it says models, because there's two sections, right? So there's models and there's families. This is a new project wizard, right? This little box that we're seeing in the middle. It allows us to start a new project. Now, right here in the drop-down menu, you're going to find several templates that you can start a project with, depending on what you're going to do. If you start a project for structural, you'll have more structural tools in that template. Okay. If I start a project for systems, that's MEP. So I'll have more tools for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Okay. If I start a, which is the other one that I missed? Construction template, there'll be more tools for the construction side of it. Okay. So just to let you know. So now it's just there. Autodesk just said, no, it's only Revit, that's it, but everything's in there. It's just, what are you going to use? Okay. All right. So in our case for today, for this class, oh, by the way, real quick, if you do hit browse, okay, if we do go to browse, you get more templates. Okay. There is a commercial, there's a default, there's an electrical, mechanical, plumbing, precast, there's a residential already. Okay. Now, there is a residential template. We could start with that one, but I'm not going to start with that one. Okay, we're going to hit escape here and go back to the little previous window. Let's start our project with the architectural template. Now, this is going to be limited. It's going to be limited on the residential stuff compared to that other template, but that doesn't mean that we can't bring stuff in to help us with our residential project. I've tried teaching it both ways. And last semester, I used the residential template, and I felt that it was more challenging for the student because I had to spend time telling them, okay, let's remove all this stuff that we're not going to use, and then let's add all this stuff that we are going to use. And to me, I felt it was more work on a student versus this one is going to be a little bit more blank, but all you have to worry about is bringing stuff in. You don't have to worry about taking stuff out or deleting stuff. The next thing you want to make sure is this bottom little half right here. What are you working on? A project or a project template? Well, in our case, we're working on a project, right? It's a project for the client. Let's hit OK. All right, so we're starting a project. We're starting with the architectural template, the default, right? We're gonna do a couple of things today to get us ready to get going, okay? So we went over the interface, right? It's very similar to their other AutoCAD products. We have a ribbon on top. We have a quick access toolbar. I talked about the properties and the project browser on the left side of the screen. Middle portion, that's our drawing window, drawing area, okay? Status bar at the bottom. And right here where my mouse is hovering, where it's in between the ribbon and the drawing window and properties, that little bar across is known as the options bar. Okay. Please know where these things are, because I'll probably tell you, go to the options bar and change this. Well, I'm telling you where the options bar is. That's why I'm taking the time to tell you where it is. All right. See where my mouse is hovering? That is the options bar. Let's go. We're going to get our template ready for use, for us to design the house. Unfortunately, because we don't have a template ready to go, and I don't want you to use the residential one, we have to set it up. There's some things that we're going to have to do so that we can design. Okay. So very first thing I want you to do is after you open this template that I told you, which is the architectural default template, scroll down. You're going to find this section right here that says elevations. In parentheses, this building has east, north, south, and west. You see that section right there in the middle, right here? Are going to be your exterior elevations of your building. But those 4 items correlate, or they're tied together with these four symbols. So meaning north would be looking at it from the top towards our building. You see the little arrow right here, right? South, I'm looking up that way. East, I'm looking this way towards the building. And then west, looking that way, okay? They're tied together. If, for whatever reason, you delete one of those, do not delete things, okay? See how I no longer have north here? Why? Well, I deleted that one on top. I'm gonna go Control Z. Oh, by the way, Control Z, guys. Best friend. If you do something wrong, move Control Z. Z, Zeta, zebra. Or you can come up here, redo, undo. Undo. Okay. So these symbols tie into something else. Okay. Let's say for whatever reason I needed to change them or move them or whatever, we can always select and then do the command. Just similar to AutoCAD. By the way, while I'm here, selecting with a solid line, it's very similar to AutoCAD except it's either a solid line or a hidden line. Okay, on the window. So I press down on my mouse and I'm just moving it. Don't let go of the mouse and you can move it. It's very similar to AutoCAD. Okay, so if it's a solid box, it's got to cover the object completely. Very similar to AutoCAD, right? If it's a hidden line, so long as it touches it or covers it or touches it, it'll select it. Okay. So now what I want you to do is we're gonna go to south. I use south a lot. Okay. As my starting point. So if you design using the software, south is usually your front of the house. So I usually always go to south because I know that that's going to be the front of my house. Especially when you design, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually the front is up towards the bottom. Let's go to south now. Now here in this window, this, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be our elevation, exterior elevation. In particular, this one's going to be our front elevation, okay? What do you see on this screen currently? 2 levels. And the proper term, too. These are called levels. Awesome. You have level 1 and level 2, okay? They're both blue. You see that? Think of levels like level 1 would be first floor, like down there where the library is right now. And level 2 is where we're at here at school, classroom, right? Level 2, floor 2. Okay. Level 1, first floor. Level 2, second floor. Okay. We can design something from that level up, right? So on the bottom, I'm going to design the first floor. On the second one, I'm going to design second floor. Because it is a level and I can design on it, that means that there is a plan that goes with this level, okay? In this case, if we look at our project browser, we have under the little floor plan tab, I have level 1, level 2. You see that here? Level 1, level 2. That means that I can have first floor, second floor, right? Look at my ceiling plans. I have level 1 and level 2. So at the top of level 1, or at the very top of level 1, right before level 2, there would be a ceiling, right? To cover all the stuff in between that's going to hold level 2 up, right? There's going to be a ceiling. At the top of this floor, there's a ceiling, right? That covers what goes above it. Because these two are both work planes where I can design, that means that I have a floor plan that goes with it and I have a ceiling plan that goes with it, okay? So I'm going to change this one here. Okay, I'm going to change, I don't want to call it level 1, okay? Simply click on the word. You see that rectangle around the word level 1? Okay, now, my suggestion, try to put your cursor kind of, it doesn't have to be exactly, but kind of above one of the letters, and then click again. And the reason I say this, sometimes when it's in the white, it won't get the words. It'll release. Because if you click on the white, by the way, guys, I mentioned this when we went over the user interface. You can let go of something you've selected by clicking on the white. in order to change the view, if you click on north once, see how I clicked on north once? It did turn north blue. You see this blue around my north arrow? But I didn't really go to the north view because it's not open. See? When you double click it, it should open the tab up here, and then that takes you to it. Coming back to here, I wanna rename this level. Okay? So click on it, click on the word level, and I'm gonna call this finish floor. Oops, caps lock's on, finish floor, right? Now, that's gonna identify my finished floor. From there, I'm gonna build up my walls. My foundation goes below that, right? That's my finished floor. That's my 0, 0, right? So I'm gonna call it finished floor. I'm gonna hit enter. And as soon as I do that, I get this box. This is important, okay? This is important. I am gonna suggest that you always hit yes here. So I'm gonna hit yes. And so now look at my project browser. Look at what happened. Level 1 got renamed. It got renamed to finished floor, which is what my level is called, right? So they match. One and same, right? They match. Finish floor. Finish? Oh, thank you. Finish. Oh. No, I misspelled it. All right. Now, if my house was going to be a 2-story home, similar to what I told you about that lot that was 25 wide that I had to design a house for, and they wanted all the stuff that I asked you for, except for the garage, in that lot or in that house, I had to go 2 stories to meet the needs of the client, right? So if I had a second floor, this would be, I call it different things. I've done finished floor 2, I've done second floor, I've done other names, right? It doesn't really matter. For this project, we're gonna stick to a 1-story home, okay? As much as it pains me, because there's a lot that you learn when you do a 2-story home, we're gonna stick to a 1-story home, okay? So I really don't need this, but I don't wanna delete it either, okay? So what we're going to do is we're gonna rename this roof. Oops. Double O, not triple O. Roof. Roof. Okay. And then I'm gonna have the same response, the same little, hey, you're renaming this. Do you wanna make everything match? Yes, I do. Okay. Let me explain things a little bit. Okay. Right now, both of these are set up as I taught you or told you in the morning or earlier. It's wanting to do first floor, second floor plan, right? The way I'm setting it up right now, calling this roof, a little bit later, I'm gonna show or tell you how to change this. We're gonna change it from wanting to look for something 4 feet above, cut it, and show you that plan to, no, that's not what I want. I want you to look all the way down and show me the roof plan. Because the roof plan is, so you're above the house and you see it perpendicular all the way down, right? I don't want to keep it at 10 feet high. Okay, by the way, I'm going to go above this. What I'm going to do this time, though, is I'm going to click on the bottom, on the height. It says 10 feet. Click on the bottom. It's going to have the rectangle around it. Click on the 10. You should see the 10, right? And you can modify the height, right? Okay. I like to play it safe, okay? Not that I'm gonna have a house that's like 20 feet high, but I usually put this at around 25, 30 feet high so I can be sure that I'm at the very top looking down, right? So let's make this 25 feet. It's important to know because it's gonna make you a better designer and drafter, okay? Number 2, the second reason why I am pausing and talking is this. I'm gonna put CAD, okay? I'm gonna put CAD and I'm gonna put Revit over here. I know. It seems like, oh my God, this is forever to work with. No, it's because you're learning. It's gonna be a lot faster, trust me, trust me. All right, we said earlier that if I do one enter, by the way, this is an enter symbol, in case you didn't know. Look at the little, oh, they don't put it anymore. They don't put it anymore? It used to be on the keyboard. Anyways, if I do this in CAD, you told me that it was 1 inch, right? Yes? Okay. Now, in CAD, if I wanted 1 foot, I have to type this, right? Yes? So the line is 1 foot. Yes? Okay. If I want inches, I put the foot mark and then I can put 2, right? Enter. So this is 1 foot, 2 inches, right? If I need fractions, this is what I gotta type in CAD. Or if you're like, okay, I'm pretty smart, I still have to type up. Right? That's the same, by the way, guys. But it's a little bit shorter than that one, type-wise, right? And how much I enter in the command bar. Okay? Good? That's going to be the same. Okay? I'm going to write it again. But, I'm put that line right there. Revit. You know what this is? You know what this symbol means? It represents spacebar. 1 space 2 space 3 divided by 4, enter. There you go. So here's the thing. The software is intuitive. It knows. It's a brain. It automatically knows that the first number, the default measurement is what? Feet. As soon as I hit the space bar, by the way, guys, the best thing ever. Space bar here is just a space bar. It's not enter. It's not like AutoCAD. I love it. Anyways, hit the space bar. As soon as I type another number, the machine knows, okay, so now I'm going to inches. Hit the space bar and it knows, oh, you want to tell me what fraction I'm going to draw to. This is so awesome to use, guys. My suggestion, learn this. It's just going to make you faster. Trust me. Why? Half of a foot. The computer is smart. It's intuitive. It knows this equals 6 inches. It's like a brain, pretty much. That's what this thing is. That's why I tell you people, come over here, come to the dark side, leave that. No, but anyways, so getting back to this, right? If I want this level to be at 25 feet high, all you do is type 25, enter. Is it sharing? Yeah. So look, if I want this level at 25 feet high, all I do, 25, enter. No need for foot, no need for anything else. 25, enter. Now, if I zoom out, you can't see it right now, but if I zoom out, there you go. It's 25 feet high. It's to view the roof plan. So eventually, right now it's looking at 29 feet, and it's trying to show you something above, right? Because originally it was to draw floor plan 2. Later on when we get to roof plan, I'm going to show you how to say no, ignore that and show me everything below from there. Okay? Going back to, this is going to be my front elevation. Okay? right? I'm telling you, I'm letting you know, this is gonna be my exterior elevation, my front elevation. What do you normally have in your front elevation? What is it for? Does anybody know what it's for? How is the front of the house gonna look, right? Number two is vertical heights. Okay, your exterior elevations show vertical heights. Your floor plan are gonna show you length and width, right? Dimensions for length and width. Your exterior elevations tell you vertical heights, how high. If we're looking at a 3D model, depth, right? So you have length, width, depth, right? To make it 3D. When you were in CAD, that's what you were doing technically, but you were drawing these out in a flat surface and then telling me how high that house was gonna be. Here, we're physically making it, but your exterior elevation, you still gotta identify vertical heights. What does that mean? Well, in a house, you have a level, and well, in AutoCAD, it's not called a level. We use datum or something, right? Top of windows and doors, 6 feet, 8 inches. That's a vertical height, okay? Top of plate, where does my wall end and my roof start, right? Top of plate, 8 feet. Top of plate, 10 feet. Those are vertical heights. That's what your exterior elevations do. They show vertical relationships, vertical heights, okay? That's important. So, because I'm telling you that this is gonna become your exterior elevations, we need to show other levels, other heights, okay? Now, some of these, they're just there to label, to show you these heights. I don't need a plan, right? Top of windows and doors, do I need a plan? Is there gonna be walls there or anything that goes there that I have to build? No, right? Okay. Top of plate. Do you think I have to build something on top of plate? Before you answer, let me tell you right off the bat, that's a trick question. So no answer. I guess both answers will be incorrect. And no answer will be wrong because it's true either way. It's a trick question. No and yes. I'm not building walls, but I am building a roof. And what else am I building? Ceiling joists. Okay, that's a trick question. Honestly, you're not building anything, but if you think about it, you are going to be building stuff there. Like there's no walls, I guess. Well, that's why I was trying to trick you. Okay, so look, I'm going to show you how to create new levels. So how do you create more levels? Architecture tab. Okay, go to the architecture tab. On the right side, second to the last one, you see datum. Do you see the word level? That's how you create them. Very easy. Click on level. Okay, now, real quick, as we're learning, see the blue dimension line? Do you see the blue dimension line? That's called the temporary dimension line. It's going to disappear. It's there to guide you. Two things that you're going to need to look for when you're creating levels. Number one, line it up on the left side. See that blue hidden line? Make sure that blue hidden line comes up. That's the only thing you need to worry about. Don't worry about the temporary dimension. Click. When you see the hidden line, click. Once you click, drag your mouse to the right. Now, on the right side, look for the blue hidden line. Click again. Hit escape, hit escape, hit escape, and we're good. Now let's zoom in so we can see what it did. I have level 3. What do you think it called it level 3 right off the bat? What was that? There was 2 levels before. I'm telling you, it's smart. It knows. There was level 1, there was level 2. As soon as you had another one, that's gonna be level 3. I told you that this was gonna be top of plate. So let's rename the level 3. I showed you already know how to do it. You should know already. Top of plate. Yes, remember, my suggestion, always hit yes when you have this pop-up. Height of my top of plate. Okay, so learning lesson. I'm always giving you knowledge. Houses, residences, 8 feet, top of plate minimum. It can be higher. Now, why is that? Speeds up construction. Okay, a sheet of sheetrock comes 4 feet by 8 feet. Let me see if they stand it up. You're covering the whole wall. Easy. No need to cut. We'll do ours. We'll start at 8 feet. We may change this I'm not too fond of 8 feet anymore. I usually do mine at 9. Um, Actually, you know what? Let's make it 9. 9 feet. Let's do 9. Okay. So 9 feet high. All right. Now, I mentioned earlier, exterior elevations, you label vertical heights, right? One of the other ones I mentioned was top of windows and doors, right? Normally on an exterior elevation, that's going to be labeled, okay? And by default, that there is nothing built there except the headers, but for the doors and the windows so they can stay, the house can stay upright. Anyways, so we're just labeling. So this is a different type of level. You're still going to activate the command, okay? But on the in the options bar, where's the options bar? Between the ribbon and the window, right? Right here. Right here where it says make plan, let's take that check mark off. In other words, I don't need a plan. I'm just going to label a height. Okay? All right. So I'm going to drop it. I'm actually going to drop it above the top of plate of the top of plate. I'm just going to click, line it up, click, drag it, line it up, click again, hit escape. Easy peasy. Okay? Let's zoom in. Hey, look, level 4. Automatically. It knew, hey, the last one was level 3, so this one's got to be level 4. Right? Now, Mr. Reyes, are my windows really going to go at 16 feet 6 inches or whatever, wherever you click? No, right? But we can always adjust it by telling it the height, right? So the next thing you need to make sure, the color. See how this is black and this is blue? The black lets you know that it's there just to identify a height. There is not a plan associated with it. Okay? So the colors here help you identify whether there is a plan associated with that level or not. So this one is blue. That means that there is a plan. The black one lets you know there is no plan. I'm just going to use it to identify a height. Okay, so level 4, I'm going to rename it top of W and D, windows and doors. Okay, now if you're like me and you want to type it all out, windows and doors, what's going to happen is that it's going to word wrap for you, okay, automatically. As much as it bothers me, and if anybody knows me and my OCD, this really bothers me where it word wraps. So guess what I do? At home, that's what I do. It doesn't word wrap now, right? Now it's not bothering me. Most contractors will know what WMD is, right? Windows and doors, they'll know. Okay, now height, houses, residences, top of windows and doors line up at 6 feet, space 8 inches across the board, unless you have a custom windows that are going to be custom designed. Those might be a little higher. I'm going to put one more. I'm going to risk it, and I'm going to show you what if we want, very common right now, stone on the bottom half of the house, maybe 3-4 feet high, right? Remember, exterior elevations, vertical heights. So we got to identify that height. How high is that stone going to be, right? So you can create another level. Yeah, no problem. But you can also do this. Click the bottom one, and here's learning time, okay? Anytime you select anything, no matter what it is, you will automatically activate the modify tab. Look on your ribbon, modify / levels is kind of green. Look at the ribbon. Hit escape. The ribbon changes automatically, right? This is your normal ribbon. This is the last place you were on. But as soon as you select something, oh, you're modifying. What do you want to do? Now, here are the modify tools. Very similar to CAD, right? Some of them you know, some of them you may not know. But right here, there's a copy command, right? Just like in CAD. Let's hit copy, click activate copy, click on the white, okay? Now get away from that habit from CAD where you want to click on the object itself to move it. Leave that behind, okay? Click on the white, anywhere out here, middle of nowhere. Move your mouse straight up, and then just type 4, enter. Hit escape. Now here, look at what it did though. Top of W and E. Why? Because the last one was a D. I renamed it, right? I renamed it to top of W and D. The computer's like, okay, so now it's W and E. Top of stone. Let's mark it top of stone. Okay, there you go. Now, let's zoom out. Are those legible? Can you read all of them? So it doesn't look very clear, right? So what you can do, if this is the, okay, if this is a scale you're going to print to, you can fix it, right? You click the line, click on one of the lines. In this case, I'm clicking on top of plate, okay? Between the T and the E and the above the O, there's like a little heartbeat sign, like a little break symbol. Do you see it on the line? Look at your screen. You should see it. On mine, it's going to be kind of hard to see. And I don't want to move my mouse to it because it'll block it. But you see this little symbol right here? If you activate it, click on it. What it does, it creates 2 grip points. And now I can use this to adjust my level so that if this is the scale that I'm printing to, it is legible. Okay? Do you see that? Mejor do Control Z and Control Z again and again and again till it's straight again. You need to identify what scale you're printing to. That's important. Now, residential project, most of the time, 1/4 inch of a scale, 1/4, good job. So your exterior elevations are also 1/4 of an inch. What's my scale here? Is that correct? No. So don't spend all this time adjusting it when it's going to change. All right? So what you're going to do, let me press hide here because come to the scale, click, and change it to 1/4. So there's 2 types of text on drawings, 1/4 and 1/8. Always. That's once it's on paper, it should be that high, 1/4 and 1/8. See how it automatically changed when I changed the scale? So if I print, guess what? If I get a ruler, 1/8, automatically, by itself. Software does it. There's no need for you to have a chart. Remember, you remember basic AutoCAD? You had a chart with a bunch of rows and a whole bunch of scales. We were only on south. There's 4 elevations, right? I have to do for all of them. What I do want you to do is go to all of them anyways, because you're gonna have to change the scale. Go from 1/8 to 1/4 on north. Open north and change the scale to 1/4. Open east, and change the scale to 1/4. Open west and change the scale to 1/4 as well. All 4 sides, all 4 to 1/4. Now, let's go to our project browser and take a look at what happened. Okay? So my project browser, first of all, I'm going to explain a couple of things. A through Z, it's going to organize things A through Z automatically. Okay, that's the default. Notice my floor plans. Finished floor, roof, side, top of plate. It's not really the sequence of how things are built. Okay, but it's alphanumeric. F becomes before R comes before S, and S comes before T. Okay, so it's default. Okay, there are ways of modifying this. That's for a whole other class. We're not focusing on that. We're going to focus on the construction documents. So right off the bat, I want to clarify that. The second thing you should notice is that it automatically created the top of plate level. Why? Because top of plate was blue, right? So it matches, okay? Before you launch and go, the little things that are going to help you in the long run is to do them up front. So let's go to the Manage tab of your browser or of your ribbon. Go to Manage, okay? In your Manage, you're going to see project information. Okay, it's closest to materials, kind of like in the bottom, I think, but it says project information. Click on that tool right there. Okay. So here, okay, if you're working at a firm or your own business, right, you start by putting the project information on there. Okay. Recommended. Let me say that. Okay. For STC, what I want you to do is where it says author, put your name. You're the author of this drawing. Okay. Organization, we can put South Texas College, but we're not going to put it. I'm not going to put it. Let's scroll down. Project issue date. You can put a date here. When was it issued, right? Usually I wait for this to the end. That's when I hand it over, issue it to the client. So just to update my records. Project status, okay, preliminary, approved, finalized. These are terms that change as the project moves in. When it starts, you're in the preliminary phases. They like the preliminary plan, it's approved, you move it to approve and you're trying to complete it. Once it's completed and you're ready to give it to the client, finalized, right? I finished it, it's gone out the door. You can control that here, okay? Owner, the client's name. For our purposes, for this class, we're gonna say that we're gonna be building for Miss Perales. Yeah, do I put her first name? Let's see, what can I think of as a first name? Sandra. Oh, it's up to you whether you want cap locks or not. Sandra Perales. ¿Sí? Or S? Perales? S, no? S, ¿verdad? S? Sí, Perales. Project address. No. So if we know the address, we can add it here off the bat. Okay? Now, why do you think this is important? If I remember correctly off the top of my brain, I put 0000, but I think it was gonna end up being like 3312. What's the name of the road? Hold on, let's see. Hopefully, I have it open. It's got a weird name for the road, by the way. Let's see, where's the road? Horn, like a horn. Oh, Saint Horn. Saint Horn. H-O-R-O. O-N-E. O-N-E. Yeah. O-N-E. N-R. N-O-R, right? N-O-R-E. Drive, ¿verdad? Decía? Did y'all see it? I think it was drive. Or was it street? Oh, let's double check. Drive. Okay. So 138, more or less, is where. Now, this is going to be, all right, so let me explain a little bit here. I can hit enter and type city and state zip code, okay? But it depends on how it's going to be used, whether you can or can't hit enter, okay? So I personally, when I do my work and my plans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, McAllen, Texas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75, 3, I think, up there. It's north, it's casi llegando a Edinburgh. This place, by the way. Hit OK. There you go. Okay. Now, I gave you a big clue right there. When I said, why is this important? It depends on how it's going to be used. I'm updating it here. Guess what? If my title block says who drew it and I put author, it will automatically read Javier Reyes because I told it here. If I put address on my title block, guess what? It's going to fill it in automatically because I've updated it here. Owner, right? That's something that goes on a title block. Who's the owner of these drawings or who are you designing for? It's going to automatically get updated. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but think of having to type in all that data, all that information on 16, 18, 20 sheets. That's just for a residence. Imagine a commercial building that has anywhere from 20 to 100 sheets, 200 sheets, and you're having to update all that information sheet by sheet. Here, I do it here at the beginning when I insert my title block, and if I connect those things to this, it will automatically get filled in, guys. See how in the long run it's going to be faster, even though I'm taking the time, and number two, I'm taking the time to explain. When I do this, it takes me like 5 minutes max, and I'm done. I'm ready to draw. But right now I'm explaining, right? It seems like it's taking forever for us to get going, but because I'm trying to make that connection, right, and teach you all these things, right? So eventually you can fill this out in 2-3 minutes, hit enter, and as you're populating your sheets, everything gets updated. Sorry guys, Control X, Control V. The name we're gonna say Perales Residence. Perales Residence. All right, so here's our project information. We're gonna hit OK. Now you may get this pop-up. Okay, if you haven't gotten it, that means you haven't been on the software 30 minutes or longer. I have, so I get this box. Do not hit cancel. Okay, go ahead and save the project. If you got the pop-up, go ahead and save it. If you didn't get the pop-up, you're okay. That means that you still haven't hit 30 minutes, but it's probably going to come up later on as we move forward. So I'm going to save mine. Actually, I'm going to save it real quick on the server where I can find it in any podium. Because if I save it to the desktop, I can only see it here. 2400. We'll call this Perales Residence. Actually, you know what? I'm going to name it 01-2022. Oh, I forgot the STC. STC 2020-01-2022. Perales Res. No, just Perales. Just tying in the name of the file with the project number is important, especially if you work in a firm. Okay, you got to be able to find these files rather quickly, and if you tie the name of the project with the project number, somehow you can find them a little bit easier. Okay, so I saved it the same way I named the project, STC 01-2022 Perales. I would have probably done Perales Residence, but I just stopped at Perales. That's fine. If you put residence, it's fine. Okay. So we updated the project information. We've updated our levels. One last thing I want to update, and then we'll kind of get moving today, is annotate. Go to annotate tab. Modify. Manage. Thank you. Alberto, I know he's not saying anything, but he looks at me and he's like, le faltó esto, sir. Sí, yes. Sorry. Under manage, under project units. I think it's parameters. Where are you? Sí. It's got like a little rectangle box with 2 zeros kind of in the background and a little box in front of it. Project units. Okay. So let me clarify. Whatever you modify here is Think of drawing accuracy. How accurate is your drawing, your model, the building itself, what we're doing? That doesn't correlate directly with your dimensions. Okay, so by default, and I'm only going to look at length. Okay, you can look at all these options, but we're going to look at length. By default, the length is set to be as precise as 1/32, which is a ridiculous precision. But remember that that's the accuracy of your model, not when they go build it, right? It's the accuracy of the actual object you're building or designing. In my case, personally, I leave it this way. Just because I want to show you how you would change it. If you go to length, click on the box on the right side, okay? And here it tells you how do you want to be. Well, first of all, what are the units of format? If you are working with somebody that deals with metric, you can change it here. But anyways, yours should say feet and fractional inches. And we're going to change the precision to 1/16. Even that to me is going to be, it's not going to be that precise once it's actually built, right? But this is, remember, these that I showed you here, how accurate is your model, what you're designing, okay? Not the accuracy of the dimensions, if that makes sense. We'll deal with the dimensions in a little bit. So I want to build my building to be as accurate as 1/16 in my model, in here in the software. Let's hit OK. I hit OK. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you today is that I want to update the precision of my dimensions so that when I dimension, it's something realistic. Okay. By default, it's set to dimension up to 3/30 or 1/32, which is crazy. If anybody's worked out in industry and looked at a tape measure, first of all, the tape measure doesn't go to 1/32. It's 1/16, just like your scale ruler in basic CAD. You got to learn how to read the scale, or in blueprint reading, right? That's when we show the scale. Same thing here, the tape measure 1/16. Now, I'm going to update my dimensions so that they're accurate to, we'll do 1/8. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, 1/8. Okay, so that is done through annotate. Go to annotate. Annotate tab. Okay, the second panel there is your dimension panel, right? Everything that goes in dimensioning is there. But at the very bottom, you see a little black triangle next to the word dimension. Press that right here. Press this. Okay. Now, you can modify all the different types of dimensions. For our purposes, we're only going to modify one, which is the linear, right? That's how we're going to dimension our plans, linear. So let's do linear dimension type. Okay. It's going to bring up this window. This is called the property type window, or type property window. Okay. Now, this window, learn it. We're going to see it a lot. Everything's going to have a type property. Okay. Now, same thing I told everybody that I teach. Do not ever change or override the originals. Always make a copy, mess with it. If it doesn't work, erase your copy and you still have the one that works, right? Safe. Always safe. Play safe. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go duplicate. Okay. And notice that it created a copy, right, of the original. Let's put a 2. That's number 1. This is number 2. So I'm going to just put on here, and I'm going to say aerial. We'll put like, what should we put? 1/8. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I hit enter accidentally. I was trying to hit shift. Accuracy. Forget it. I'll just put one.
So the three means the height.
Well, let's do. Yeah, we're gonna have to identify that this is. I tried to type precision last time. Y también I was having a hard time. Accuracy. I think I spelled it correctly. Accuracy. I think I spelled it correctly. It might be misspelled.
It doesn't matter, sir. Don't worry about it. We understand.
Um, okay, and I'm gonna do one even better. There. Oh, wrong way. All right. Now, this is what we call naming convention. How you name things within Revit. Okay. So, you always want to name it as best and as detailed as possible. Okay? Meaning, don't ever just say linear aerial, and that's it. Well, is it 30 seconds, 3/16? Is it for, so how you name it is going to be very important, especially a little bit later when we start building walls, creating other things, other objects, using other objects. So well, if you name it properly, the naming convention, it should be easy enough for me, Jerry, anybody, Joshua, no, Joshua to use the template and know what that object is that they're going to use. Okay. All right. I'm going to hit OK. Sorry. Accuracy. I'm going to have to look at that up again. I think I misspelled it. Anyways, bothers me a little bit, not that much. All right. You're going to scroll down. There's two things you're going to look at. Okay. There's two things you're going to look at when we're looking at these dimensions. Two things that we're going to look at. One is going to be the accuracy, right? We're going to identify the accuracy. Number two is one of the other things that I enjoy about the software, especially when it comes to dimensioning. Okay. If you scroll down, and now notice that I didn't go all the way down. I stopped where I see the word text, right? You see that blue bar that says text? You see right above it. Read what it says there right above it. Dimension, line, snap, distance. It's automatically set to 1/4. Now, personally, I grew up where in high school I had to draw by hand. And when I drew by hand, I'm used to the first line of dimensions, 3/4 of an inch away from the building, and then half. So I'm used to having a half of an inch between my dimension lines. That's just me. Wherever you go work, they might have different standards, but you can change it here. Okay, so for our purposes, we're going to use a half because that's what I'm used to, and I'm going to have you change this to 1/2. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to keep scrolling down, and you're going to find primary units. It's a blue bar, it says primary units. Right below it says unit format. See the default? See how precise it's going to dimension? I mean, there's no way that they're going to build a building that precise. Now, if they start using lasers, then maybe. We're going to go in here, click on the little box on the right side of where it said primary units. What was it? Unit format. Click this box right here. It's going to bring this up. Okay. Now, do you see the little check mark at the very top? Okay. That right now is overriding from us being able to modify it. Because we want to modify it, we're going to take that check mark off. As soon as we take that check mark off, it says, okay, how do you want to dimension? Okay, so we're going to dimension to 1/8 of an inch precision. And even 1/8, when they go build, it's tough for them to be 1/8 of an inch precision. But we're going to say, we're going to try to hit it at least 1/8. Okay. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to suppress 0 feet. What does that do? That means that if I have a dimension that is only inches, it will not put 0 feet dash inches. It'll just say 5 inches or 6 inches without the 0. Suppress, turn it off. Okay. All right, let's hit OK. Yeah, we're finishing up. We're gonna hit OK, and we should be good to start. There might be some things I'm going to update as we move forward, but we should be good to start. Okay. Um, that's all I have for today.